Good morning, everybody. I'll now call this meeting to order. Thank you for joining us electronically this morning to attend today's virtual annual general meeting. We will now invite Bishop Dodu Amu to say the opening prayer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll please ask that we all bow our heads in prayer. We thank you, our Father, this morning for the grace and the gift of life. We want to thank you for all who are gathered all over onto this annual general meeting of the bank. We pray that your presence will be with us as we go through the meeting, that let the decisions that are made honor you and bring value and profit to the bank and its stakeholders. This we ask in the name of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Bishop. The quorum for the annual general meeting is made up of members representing the simple majority of the paid-up issued shares of the company. As the registrars have confirmed to me that there are shareholders present holding more than a simple majority of the paid-up issued shares, I declare the meeting open. The notice of the meeting was published in the national dailies and also circulated to members. I will now invite the company secretary to formally read out the notice of meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, distinguished shareholders. Notice of meeting. Notice is hereby given that the annual general meeting of Ecobank Ghana PLC will be held virtually and streamed live on www.ecobankghagm.com from the head office of Ecobank Ghana PLC, 2 Morocco Lane, off Independence Avenue, Ministerial Area, Accra, on the 10th day of June 2022 at 10:30 a.m. to transact the following business of the company. Agenda, ordinary business. 1. To consider and adopt the statement of accounts of the company for the year ended 31st day of December 2021, together with the reports of the directors and auditors thereon. 2. To declare a dividend. 3. To ratify the appointment of a director. 4. To re-elect a director. 5. To authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Dated at Accra this Wednesday, 18th May 2022, by order of the board, Irabna Asafu-Boakye, Company Secretary. Notes. A. Virtual AGM guidelines. 1. Attendance and participation by all members and or their proxies in the annual general meeting of the company this year shall be strictly virtual / by electronic means, into brackets, online participation. 2. A member entitled to attend and vote at the meeting is entitled to appoint a proxy to attend and vote in his / her / its stead via electronic means, into brackets, online participation. A proxy need not be a member of the company. 3. The appointment of a proxy will not prevent a member from subsequently attending and voting at the meeting via electronic means, into brackets, online participation. The proxy appointment shall be deemed revoked in this event. 4. A proxy form can be downloaded from the website of the company, into brackets, www.ecobank.com, and should be completed and sent via email to shareregistry@gcb.com.gh or deposited with the registrars at GCB Bank PLC, Registrar's Office, number 2 Thorpe Road, PO Box 134, Accra, no later than 3 p.m. on 8th June 2022. B. Accessing, participating, and voting at the virtual AGM. 1. A unique token number shall be sent to all members by email, SMS, or by post from 27th May 2022 to allow for access to the virtual meeting platform, www.ecobankghagm.com. 2. Members who do not receive their unique token numbers between 27th May 2022 to 8th June 2022 may contact the registrars of the company at GCB Bank PLC, Registrar's Office, number 2 Thorpe Road, High Street, Accra, on telephone numbers 0302 668 712 stroke 0244 338 508 stroke 0244 358 514 stroke 0244 318 079 or via email to shareregistry@gcb.com.gh to obtain their unique token numbers. 3. Members shall be required to visit www.ecobankghagm.com on 10th June 2022 and input their unique token number in order to be able to gain access and participate in the virtual AGM. 4. Members who do not submit proxy forms to the registrar of the company before the AGM can vote via electronic means using their unique token numbers. 5. Members are encouraged to submit their questions ahead of the AGM via email to eghagm@ecobank.com. C. Further information. The annual report of the company and further information on accessing, participating, and voting at the virtual AGM are available at www.ecobankghagm.com. For further information, please contact the registrar, GCB Share Registry, GCB Bank PLC, number 2 Thorpe Road, PO Box 134, Accra. Telephone numbers 0302 668 712 or 0244 338 508 or 0244 358 514 or 0244 318 079. Email to shareregistry@gcb.com.gh. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. With a very heavy heart, I regret to announce the passing of Mrs. Felicity Apwa, a non-executive director, on the 15th of February 2022 after a short illness. She served on the board for almost 6 years, having been appointed on 5th of May 2016. I am also informed of the recent sad passing of Mr. J.K. Annan, a shareholder of the bank. I would like us all to observe a minute's silence in memory of our late director, shareholder, and all other shareholders who passed on in the course of the year. May their souls rest in peace. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Dear fellow shareholders, I would like to welcome our shareholders to the Ecobank Ghana PLC Annual General Meeting for 2022. First, let me take the opportunity to thank the Almighty God for preserving our lives. To those who unfortunately lost their lives to the COVID-19, it is my prayer that God grants them restful peace. As we learn to go through a second year of an unprecedented global pandemic in 2021, the board believes that Ecobank, your bank, is strong and well positioned for growth in the future. It is refreshing that notwithstanding the new Omicron variant we experienced in 2021, generally, with many of us having been vaccinated twice and in some cases taken the booster shot, we have learned to coexist and live with the COVID-19 virus. In 2021, over 1,200 employees worked from Ecobank offices and homes to deliver uninterrupted service to our cherished customers. Your bank is amongst one of the few banks in the country that delivered service to our customers 24 hours a day for 7 days in the week during the height of the pandemic. That is why I wish to take this opportunity on behalf of the board to thank the management and staff of your bank for their dedication and commitment. They executed the strategy of your bank flawlessly and served the millions of customers who continue to choose Ecobank and trust us with their business. They simply delivered on the mandate of our shareholders during a time of fear and uncertainty. For this, I am indeed proud of them. Operating environment. The COVID-19 crisis and the resulting economic challenges had major impact on global economies in 2021. Following a 3.3% contraction in 2020, the global economy in 2021 grew by 5.9% due to various stimulus interventions, mass vaccinations, and relaxation of some COVID-19 restrictions, amongst others. Although the pace of recovery was not even globally, in sub-Saharan Africa, the growth of 4.5% in 2021 was better than expected. In Ghana, the economy expanded by 5.4% in 2021, far higher than the 0.4% recorded in 2020. The growth rate, which gained traction in the last quarter of 2021, was mainly driven by stronger agricultural activity and a rebound in the industrial sector. In 2021, headline inflation rose from 7.5% in the first half of the year to close at 12.6% by the end of the year, driven by both food and non-food price increases, according to the Ghana Statistical Service. This was higher than the Bank of Ghana's inflation target of 8% plus or minus 2% for 2021. In 2021, the weighted average interbank lending rate was 12.7% compared to 13.6% in 2020, whilst interest rate yields on the money market witnessed declines. The 91-day and 182-day Treasury bill rates declined to 12.49% and 13.19% respectively in December 2021, from 14.08% and 14.13% respectively in December 2020. Similarly, the rate on the 364-day instrument decreased marginally to 16.46% from 16.98% over the same comparative period. Rates on the 2-year and 5-year bonds increased to 19.75% and 21% respectively, from 18.50% and 19.85% respectively, while rates on the 3-year, 6-year, 7-year, and 10-year bonds broadly declined. The rates on the 15-year and 20-year bonds, however, remained unchanged at 19.75% and 20.20% respectively over the same comparative period. The central bank's policy rate was revised upward by 100 basis points to 14.5% in November 2021 at its latest meeting, 100 basis points higher than the rate recorded at the beginning of the year. Cumulatively, while the Ghana cedi depreciated by 4.1% and 3.1% against the US dollar and pound sterling, respectively, in 2021, the Ghana cedi appreciated by 3.5% against the euro. In the same period of 2020, the Ghana cedi recorded depreciations of 3.9%, 7.1%, and 12.1% against the US dollar, the pound sterling, and the euro, respectively. Despite the challenges and threats posed by our operating environment, Ecobank Ghana, your bank, stayed strong, stable, and profitable. Financial highlights. Looking back from when you bestowed on me the honor of becoming the chairman of your bank in 2015, it is evident that our financial discipline, significant investment in technology, and the constant development of our people helped us to remain strong and focused on our customers. Accordingly, by the start of COVID-19, your bank was already far ahead in the art of serving our clients digitally. Income statement highlights. Because of our foresight in 2021, the firm generated record revenues of 2 billion cedis, which was up by 10%, or 193 million cedis compared to 2020. The growth was mainly driven by a 13% increase in net interest income and a 24% rise in net fees and commissions. Net trading income was down by 18% due to margin compressions. The net interest income contributes 75% of our total revenue, with the non-interest income accounting for the remaining 25%. Operating expenses in 2021 was largely contained, with a marginal growth of 7% compared to the inflation rate of 12.6% as at December 2021. Our cost-to-income ratio of 46.2% was a reduction from the previous years of 47.9%. Our profit before tax of 894 million cedis surpassed pre-COVID-19 levels and makes your bank one of the most profitable banks in Ghana. Our impairment charge within the year was up by 13% year on year, largely driven by an uptick in the loan book and increased provisioning of our exposures, as well as a comprehensive review of our asset portfolio. This notwithstanding, we will not relent in our efforts to tighten measures on improving recoveries year on year, and will ensure that our robust risk management procedures are periodically updated to safeguard the quality of the loan book. We expect gradual recovery from the pandemic to impact positively on our performance going forward. Balance sheet highlights. Customer deposits grew by 12% from 11.8 billion cedis in 2020 to 13.2 billion cedis in 2021. We are eternally grateful for the business of our cherished customers. They continue to show faith in us by continually entrusting us with their business. By close of 2021, total loans stood at 5.7 billion cedis, up 14% from 5 billion cedis in 2020. The loan to deposit ratio of the bank was 43%, up from 42% in 2020. Our balance sheet remains strong, growing from 15.95 billion cedis in 2020 to 17.93 billion cedis in 2021. Your bank continues to be well capitalized with total equity of 2.7 billion cedis, which is amongst the highest in the industry. Ecobank Ghana's credit rating has been affirmed by the global credit rating company at AA minus GH and A1 plus GH in the long term and short term, respectively, with a stable outlook during the year 2021. The current ratings reflect the bank's established domestic franchise value, resilient financial performance, risk-appropriate capitalization, and adequate loan loss reserve. I must say that we are proud of what we accomplished in 2021 because even in the face of the pandemic and the disruptions, the results reflect how resilient your bank is in serving its customers and returning improved shareholder value. Dividend. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my greatest pleasure to inform you that we will, subject to the approval of shareholders, declare the payment of a dividend for the 2021 financial year. The board has approved a dividend of 62 pesewas per share for all eligible shareholders. Your board arrived at this decision by balancing the need to ensure profit retention for the sustainability of our business with the need to provide liquidity and returns to our cherished shareholders. During the year, the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index appreciated by 43.66%, and the GSE Financial Stock Index also appreciated by 20.7%. Your bank's share price also appreciated by 5.56% in 2021 and closed the year at 7 cedis 60 pesewas. Responsible citizenship. Your bank is constantly involved in socio-economic development in the communities that we operate in. This is an integral part of our strategic direction. In 2021, your bank spent 2,222,000 cedis towards corporate social responsibility projects and programs. These programs, which derive from the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals and are in line with ISO 26000, aim at critical areas of need in the country, including health, education, financial inclusion, and environmental sustainability. In Ecobank, the main vehicle to drive our CSR programs is the Ecobank Day, a dedicated day that is observed by all Ecobank affiliates in Africa. The 2021 Ecobank Day celebration was a culmination of a 3-year campaign started in 2019 under the overarching theme, Together for Better Health, with the objective of raising mass awareness on how together we can help prevent non-communicable diseases in Africa. In 2021, your bank focused on creating awareness about mental health under the headline, Mental Health, Time to Talk and Act. Working with some of our local and regional strategic partners, including the Ministry of Health, Green Creek Consult, the World Health Organization, and Africa NCD Alliance, Ecobank reached out to over 300,000 people in person and virtually to talk about mental health. During the year under review, we refurbished and fully equipped a computer laboratory for the Christian Methodist Senior High School in Accra at an estimated cost of 160,000 cedis. Your bank in 2021 supported the agribusiness value chain by donating 4 industrial dehusker shellers to Yedent Agro-Bulk Processing Aggregators in Sunyani. We also contributed immensely to the cultural and traditional institutions in the country through donations to the Menchia Palace and Garmanche Palace. Your bank also supported the Adabraka School during the annual Gar Community Quiz, a special initiative instituted by the Adabraka chief as part of deliberate efforts to restore the rapidly diminishing quality of the local Gar language and cultural values amongst the youth. I'm proud of the yearly support we provide to our communities and would want to express my gratitude to shareholders for giving us the opportunity to give back to the communities we all live in. Integrated sustainability principles into the bank. Ecobank believes that the pursuit of profitability should not be at the expense of people and the planet. We believe green finance is good for our business. Because of our belief, Ecobank has integrated the transition to a green economy and the pursuit of long-term sustainability into its decision-making, amongst others. Ecobank has been collaborating with ECOWAS Refrigerators and Air Conditioners Initiative to accelerate adoption of energy-efficient and climate-friendly domestic refrigerators and room air conditioners in the residential sector. Through a no-risk, high-potential EcoFridges green on-wage financial mechanism, Ecobank Ghana and partners aim to unlock $5 million in financing to support the purchase of over 10,000 energy-efficient and climate-friendly cooling products to replace old existing ones by 2022. Ecobank and other partners have been behind the 1 million waste bin project to curb the indiscriminate litter of waste within the communities by supplying 1 million litter bins to households and businesses across the country. To protect the environment, Ecobank launched a digital waste collection platform to allow citizens to pay for waste services. In 2016, your bank became the first bank in Ghana to introduce a banking mobile app to the market. In 2021, the number of digital transactions reached 31.9 million from 23.5 million in 2020, a 36% growth. Ecobank, in partnership with Jumo, has invested $25 million to grant micro digital retail loans to clients who have difficulty in accessing credit. In 2021, we partnered with Proparco to sign a 50 million CD agreement to support 500 MSMEs affected by the impact of COVID-19. Within the bank, all our branches are switching to solar panels. Total installed solar capacity at the branches stood at 1,038.48 kilowatts in 2021. The Ecobank Ghana Solar Energy Project has led to a cut in energy costs by 50%. In addition to integrating sustainability principles in our financing projects, your bank is also committed to the central bank's sustainable principles. It is important to note that Ecobank Ghana PLC was a key player in developing the central bank's sustainable banking principles. The principles are expected to assist banks to respond to emerging global mega-trend issues such as human security, anti-money laundering, social responsibility stewardship, information communication transparency and disclosure, corporate integrity, environmental and climate change. To drive actions, a general awareness campaign was launched within the bank to sensitize all staff to commit to the principles. The country chief risk officer was subsequently charged to lead the bank's compliance with the sustainable banking principles. A task force comprising members of all departments within the bank has been constituted by the country chief risk officer to mainstream the tenets of the principles in our operations. Our awards. Our dedication, commitment, diligence, and efficiency earned the bank over 10 awards in 2021. Notable amongst them are AGI Best Company in the Financial Services Sector, CIMG Hall of Fame of the Year, CIMG Overall Best Bank, CIMG Best Bank in Service Quality, CIMG 5-Star in Service Quality, CIMG 5-Star in Customer Satisfaction, Euromoney Best Bank in Ghana, Ghana Shippers Award Financial Service Provider of the Year, Sustainability and Social Investment Awards 2021, Sustainability and Operational Excellence Award, Ghana Association of Restructuring and Insolvency Advisors Appreciation Award as a Platinum Foundation member in recognition of Ecobank's continuous support and commitment to ensuring businesses thrive in Ghana and contribution to the association. We dedicate all these awards to our loyal customers. We thank them for choosing Ecobank. We pledge to serve them better. Conclusion. Fellow shareholders, on behalf of the board and management of the bank, I thank you for choosing Ecobank Ghana PLC. We remain focused in our drive to continue returning exceptional value to you. I conclude by thanking the Managing Director of the bank, Mr. Daniel Sake, my other colleagues on the board, senior management, and staff of Ecobank Ghana PLC for their invaluable contribution to the bank in 2021. Their contribution and commitment year after year to ensure the growth and profitability of your bank is most commendable. To our esteemed shareholders and cherished customers, we accept that we will not have a business without you. For that reason, we undertake to continue working hard to win in the marketplace. We also say thank you to our regulators, the Bank of Ghana, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Ghana Stock Exchange for their support. Before I say thank you to God, let me take this opportunity to say that my tenure at Ecobank has been very fulfilling. I move on with both pride and sadness. Ecobank, the bank that you allowed me to serve for the past 10 years, is in a strong position. The only path for your bank now is to become even stronger. I'm in no doubt that we can go beyond this ambition. On that final note, we thank God for yet another successful year. Long live Ecobank. Long live Ghana. God bless you all. Thank you. Now, before we proceed with the main item, there's some feedback there. Before we proceed with the main items on the agenda, I shall now call on the company secretary to explain fully the process for voting during this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning once again to our distinguished shareholders. Voting can be done using either of two options. These are A, on the online platform, or B, via the USSD short code. The two voting options will allow you to cast your vote in real time. Shareholders joining from abroad must use the online platform only to vote, as the USSD short code will not work abroad. To participate in the voting exercise via the online platform, kindly locate the vote box at the bottom of your broadcast screen and follow these 4 steps. 1. Enter the same 5-character unique token number used to join the meeting. 2. Click Cast Your Vote. 3. Now you will see a list of resolutions to be voted for. 4. Follow the voting by clicking the plus sign. Then you can select your vote option. There are 3 voting options: for, against, and abstain. To participate in the voting exercise via the short code, kindly follow these 3 steps. 1. Dial *899*3# on your phone. 2. Enter the same 5-character unique token number used to join the meeting. 3. Now select your vote option and press Send on your phone. There are 3 voting options: for, against, and abstain. Please note that you can only vote on any of the resolutions when the chairman declares voting open on that specific resolution. So, for example, you cannot jump ahead and vote on Resolution 5 when the chairman has only opened voting on Resolution 1. Also, once the chairman declares the close of voting on any specific resolution, you will no longer be able to access or vote on that resolution. So to recap: 1. Voting instructions are available on the bank's AGM website for ease of reference. 2. The Shareholder Right Manager is available online to answer questions in the chat box in real time. 3. Voting on any resolution can only be done when the chairman declares voting open on that specific resolution, and the same voting procedure will be used for all resolutions to be voted on during the AGM. To send messages on the chat platform, kindly locate the chat box on the right or bottom side of your screen. Type in your comment and click on Send. Follow this procedure throughout the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. We will now move to item 1 on the agenda. The first item on the agenda is to consider and adopt the statement of accounts and the balance sheet of the company for the period ended 31st of December 2021, together with the reports of the directors and auditors thereon. If you will turn to page 48 of the annual report, you will find the report of the directors. I will now call upon the representative of the company's auditors, Messrs. PricewaterhouseCoopers, to read the report of the auditors to the members.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning, shareholders. The auditor's report is set out on pages 73 to 78 of your annual booklet. And with the permission of the chair, I will read excerpts of the report. Independent auditor's report to the members of Ecobank Ghana PLC. Report on the audit of the financial statements. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of Ecobank Ghana PLC, the bank, and its subsidiaries together called the group, as at 31st December 2021, and of the financial performance and cash flows of the bank standing alone and the group for the year then ended, in accordance with international financial reporting standards and in the manner required by the Companies Act of 2019 and then the Banks and Specialized Deposit-Taking Institutions Act of 2016. Mr. Chair, the financial statements we have audited are set out on pages 81. Financial statements include the statement of comprehensive income for the bank and the group for the year ended at 1st December 2021, the statement of financial position, the statement of changes in equity for the year then ended, the statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and the notes to the financial statements, which include a summary of significant accounting policies. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements section of our report. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. Mr. Chair, we are independent of the bank and its subsidiaries in accordance with the International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants issued by the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants. And we are also independent in accordance with the independence requirements of Section 143 of the Companies Act. In our report, Mr. Chair, we cover one key audit matter. Key audit matters are those matters that, in our judgment, were of most significance in our audit of the bank and the group for the current year. These matters were addressed in the context of the audit of the bank and the group's financial statement as a whole, and we do not provide a separate opinion on these key audit matters. The key audit matter relates to allowance for loan losses, and an amount of 531.3 million was made as a provision on the loan book of 6.2 billion. The reason why this became a key audit matter for us, Mr. Chair, is set out in our report, and they relate to the determination of the expected credit loss allowance. And this is a complex process and requires significant management judgment. The areas that were covered include the criteria for assessing the significant increase in credit risks, the definition of default, methodologies adopted by the bank in the modeling that was used in determining the probability of default, and then also the forward-looking information to determine the multiple economic scenarios used in the model. The accounting policies, critical estimates and judgments, and the impairment charge are set out in Notes 2.9.1, Note 5, Note 12, and Note 19 of the financial statements. Regarding how our audit addressed the key audit matter, we tested the adequacy of qualitative and quantitative factors applied in assessing the significant increase in credit risks. We also checked the completeness and accuracy of the respective credit exposures assessed for the ECL and other inputs, including collaterals. We checked the forward-looking information used in the model, and we also checked the appropriateness of the IFRS 9 ECL disclosures in the financial statements. Other information. The other information included in the annual booklet includes the corporate information, financial highlights, report of the directors, corporate governance framework, 5-year financial summary, and the value-added statement. Our audit does not cover the other information. However, in connection with our audit, we are to review the other information to confirm that there's nothing contained in there that is inconsistent with our audit of the financial statement or our knowledge obtained in the audit. Indeed, if based on the work we have performed on the other information, we conclude that there is a material misstatement of this other information, we are required to report that fact. We have nothing to report in this regard. Responsibilities of the directors for the financial statements. The directors are responsible for the preparation of the financial statements that give a true and fair view in accordance with international financial reporting standards, and in the manner required by the Companies Act and the Banks and Specialized Deposit-Taking Institutions Act. They are also responsible for such internal control as they determine as necessary to enable the preparation of financial statements that are free from material misstatements. The directors are also responsible for overseeing the bank and the group's financial reporting processes. Auditors' responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements. Our objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue an auditor's report that includes our opinion. Reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but it's not a guarantee that an audit conducted in accordance with international standards on auditing will always detect a material misstatement when it exists. As part of an audit in accordance with international standards on auditing, we exercise professional judgment, maintain professional skepticism throughout the audit. We also obtain an understanding of the internal control relevant to the audit in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the internal controls. We also evaluate the appropriateness of accounting policies used and the reasonableness of accounting estimates and related disclosures made by the directors. We evaluate the overall presentation, structure, and content of the financial statements, including the disclosures, and whether the financial statements represent the underlying transactions and events in a manner that achieves fair presentation. We also communicate with the directors regarding, among other matters, the plan, scope, and timing of the audit and significant audit findings, including any significant deficiencies in internal control that we identify during the audit. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. The Companies Act, Act 992, requires that in carrying out our audit, we consider and report on the following matters. We confirm that we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. In our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the bank so far as appears from our examination of those books. And the group's statement of financial position and the group's statement of comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account. In accordance with Section 85, Subsection 2 of Act 930, we hereby confirm that the accounts give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the bank and the results of operations for the period under review. We were able to obtain all the information and explanations required for the efficient performance of our duties as auditors. The bank's transactions were within its powers, and the bank has in all material respect complied with the provisions of this Act. With respect to the provisions of the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2020, the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2008, and the regulations made under these enactments, we did not identify any instances of non-compliance based on the procedures we performed. The engagement partner on the audit resulting in this independent auditor's report is myself, Michael Esiedu-Ntwi, a member of ICAG, and this report is signed by PricewaterhouseCoopers, Chartered Accountants, dated the 14th day of March 2022. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Messrs. PricewaterhouseCoopers. Before I propose the adoption of the accounts, I'd like to invite any questions from members.
Mr. Chairman, we have received a number of comments and questions as well. I should be grateful for your kind permission to read them out.
Yes, please go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, we have comments presented by Mr. Samson Ashong, a shareholder. His comment reads as follows: congratulations on the excellent performance in spite of COVID-19 and other challenges during the period under review. Congratulations once more for the many awards won, including the Best Bank in Ghana, Euromoney Excellence Award 2021. All the business segments posted impressive profits, page 188. The 5-year financial summary posted consistent profit stroke increment in all sectors from 2017 to 2021. Congratulations. That's from Mr. Samson Ashong, a shareholder. Mr. Chairman, I move to the question.
Thank you, Ms. Yes, go on, please, Avi.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move to the questions on the first motion. Mr. Ken Alor, representing SNIT, a shareholder, asked, what are the bank's plans to further reduce the cost-to-income ratio further? Then we have...
Thank you. Can you give me 2 questions at a time?
Yes,
then
Mr.
we'll come
Chairman.
back on it.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Abeka Baini, a shareholder, says, I wish to commend management for the good work done, but there is a significant jump in wages and salaries under personnel expenses compared to last year. What is driving this? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I'll answer the question from Mr. Abeka Baini, an old friend, and then I'll ask our MD to answer the question from Mr. Alor with regards to the cost-to-income ratio. The increase in salaries and wages is about 13%. Was really because we need to be competitive in the marketplace. What we do periodically is we do a salary survey to see how we sit in the same market as our competitors. And therefore, in order to ensure that we have a very attractive environment for development of our human resource, we adjusted salaries by 13%. But I'd like to also draw your attention to the fact that our productivity is measured by revenue per staff, and that also went up by 13%. Mr. MD.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Before I answer Mr. Kenalor's question, let me take the opportunity to say a good morning to our distinguished shareholders and thank them for the opportunity that they've given us to serve them. On Mr. Alor's question, revenue, cost-to-income ratio, we know has the two handle, the revenue side and the cost side. What we have done is to continue our consistent investment in technology to position us to better serve our customers. In particular, we've repositioned our contact center to become a one-stop shop for engaging with our customers. We are working to ensure that our staff can respond at once to most of the questions that our customers will raise. The ability to engage with our customers via the contact center allows us to scale our resources and reach out to more customers than we could using the traditional brick and mortar. We believe that this positions the bank uniquely to grow revenues going forward. Whilst doing this, we intend to focus on controlling costs. We are aware that inflation over the past year has been building up slightly, and we do expect some increase in costs. However, we believe that our investment in technology better positions us to continue to serve customers and deliver our services and products seamlessly to them in an efficient manner. Recall that in the chairman's address, he did state that we were able to leverage technology during COVID to serve our customers, and we believe that the consistent growth in our deposits over the years confirm that you, our customers, are very happy with the way we have served you and are confident that going forward, our revenue growth plans will be achieved. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, MD. Madam Secretary, please. Abby?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there
Next two questions.
4 more questions, so I'll take them in twos as you requested. The next question comes from Mr. Ernest Osei-Afo, a shareholder. He asks, what brought about the closure of 2 branches in Tema, Ashaiman and Safebond, which seem to be strategically located, and the relocation of the other 2 in the capital city? Did you get that? Okay. The next one comes from... Sorry, the next one comes from Edith Tete, a shareholder. She asks, how come trading costs doubled between 2020 and 2021, although we were in the COVID period. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. If I may take...
Okay. Sorry?
Thank you, Chairman. Can I take the questions?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Thank you. Regarding the...
You can take...
Hello?
Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
Okay. Regarding the closure of the two branches, specifically the Sherman and then the Safe Bond branches, if I may take the Safe Bond branch. The Safe Bond was practically set up to support the clearing agents operating at the Tema port to be able to make duty payments. With the institution of the online payment by GRA, physical traffic, physical footfall into these branches, into the Safe Bond branch had reduced significantly. So we took advantage of that to migrate most of our customers onto our digital platforms that they were already used to. We do acknowledge that there are a couple of customers that will still want to visit those branches, but I can confirm that the Safe Bond branch is just about 200 meters from our Tema main branch, and customers are being seamlessly served from the Tema main branch. So we don't anticipate any adverse impact on customer service, which is really at the core of what we are trying to do. Regarding the Ashaman branch, in a similar vein, we did leverage on technology to satisfy the one key issue, that the one key product that was service that was being rendered by the branch. Majority of the services in that area were mainly withdrawals from ATMs, which we had adequately positioned the branch to support. Secondly, we had also extended our services to the doorsteps of the customers concerned by deploying express points and agency banking within the Ashaman community. So instead of having our customers walk or drive long distances to the branch to transact, we have actually taken banking services closer to them and have made it easier for them to transact. This made it possible for us to really migrate the rest of the services to the Community 11 branch, which is also just a 5-minute drive from the Ashaman branch. So it is in continuation with our strategy to actually bring services closer to the doorsteps of our customers. Because at Ecobank, we believe that banking is something that you do, not a place where you go to. And to the extent that we are able to bring these services closer to our customers, we are fulfilling that objective. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Dan. With regards to the training costs in 2020, because of the COVID, there was hardly any training that went on because we were basically working from home. But therefore, in 2021, you'll find that the cost went up quite dramatically, in particular since we had to bring everybody up to speed. Yes, Abby, the last two, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next question comes from Isabella Naode, a shareholder of the bank. She asks, what measures has Ecobank taken to safeguard the interests and rights of shareholders in the midst of this challenging operating environment? Then we have a question from Na Doku, a shareholder, who's asking whether the chairman is moving on after this meeting. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Okay. I'll ask the MD to answer the question from Isabella, and I will answer the one from Na Doku.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Just to restate that as directors, we have the welfare of shareholders as our number one priority. And what we want to do is to ensure that the bank is run in a manner that is consistent to ensure the generation of sustainable returns on the investment that the shareholders have made in the bank. Our priority is to ensure that the returns that we generate are above the cost of equity. In that vein, we'll continue to focus on growing revenues, as I've said earlier on, and ensure that these returns at all times will be reasonable, with a view to making sure that their investments are safe. To achieve this, I've mentioned already that we strive to push technology, have the leadership role in technology investment, to be able to ensure that we can leverage technology to serve customers better. This is also allowing us to better compete with the changes happening in the industry, where we are seeing advance from non-traditional banks coming into spaces that are traditionally lending. We need to reposition our bank to ensure that long-term we can compete and continue to generate sustainable returns. And our investment in technology allows us to do that in an efficient and cost-effective manner. We believe that we are doing well in this area, as evidenced by the indicators that we have posted, and you, the customers, are the first indicator in terms of the confidence you've reposed in the bank by continuing to increase the deposits that have been that you confide to us as a banking institution. So we are confident that we will continue to protect and safeguard the rights of the shareholders. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Dan. Yes, and to my fellow shareholders, I am moving on. I'm moving on to what I consider to be a very pleasant future, in that so far I have 3 grandchildren, and I want to spend time playing around with these grandchildren and encouraging my other children to bring more grandchildren into the world. So yes, I'm moving on, but not in a work capacity, in a retired capacity. So, having answered all the questions, I now propose that the statement of accounts and the balance sheet of the company for the year ended 31st December 2021, and the reports of the directors and auditors now laid before the meeting be adopted. May I call on a member to second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Samson Ashong, a shareholder, so seconds the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ashong. May I call upon you to proceed to cast your vote electronically? I declare the voting open. Madam Secretary, will you please read out the...
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, 67 votes were cast. There are 67 votes in favor of the motion, 0 votes against the motion, and 0 abstentions. Thank you.
Thank you. I now declare the resolution carried. We now move to item 2 on the agenda. The directors recommend that a dividend in the sum of 62 pesos per share and totaling 199,981,750 cedis be declared and paid on the first day of July 2022 to members registered in the books of the company as at the close of business on the 31st day of May 2022. I would like to invite any questions from members if there are any.
Mr. Chairman, a number of questions have come through, about 6 of them. Do I take them 2 at a time?
Yes, 2 at a time, please, Abby.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Charles Iduasa, a shareholder, is asking, he says, considering the earnings per share of 1 cedi 80 pesos, why are you paying dividend of 62 pesos only? Then Mr. Peter Jassa, a shareholder, says, it appears the share price has not seen any significant increase over the past few years. What can be done to get it to improve, and what steps has the bank taken so far? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I'll ask the MD to address question 1, and I'll address question 2.
Thank you very much, Chairman. You are referring to the question on the earnings per share of 1 cedi 80 pesos against the proposed dividend of 62 pesos.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Chairman, we still are learning to live with COVID, and one of the lessons that we've learned over the past few years is to ensure that we have built adequate buffer to be able to absorb any losses that may come up. Traditionally, we know we have an earnings per share of 1 cedi 82 pesos, but after deducting the statutory amount that we are supposed to keep, we then have to take into consideration what we consider to be an amount that can be safely paid while maintaining adequate buffer for the bank to support, one, its business expansion moves, and also to support any adverse shocks that may come with the economy. As we will observe, inflationary pressures building up over the past couple of months are likely to translate into pressures for the various businesses, pressures for the various industries. We are also aware of supply chain disruptions that are affecting capacity utilization of industries and some of our businesses. Clearly, there will be challenges in the economy, and it will have an impact on our clients. What we are trying to do is to be prudent to ensure that we operate in a sound environment, we run the bank safely, and also maintain adequate buffer to absorb any potential losses. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. With regards to the question from Mr. Peter Jassa about the share price, the share price is actually a function of the liquidity. And that is really the amount of shares that are traded at any time, how many shares are traded, and the movements of these shares. In Ecobank's situation, we have more than 90% of the shares that are not traded. People are bought in for life. You've got huge institutional investors, and then you've also got some who believe in investing for the long term. I can give you myself as an example. I joined the bank. I joined the board of the bank in 2012, and I bought my shares in 2012. I still have them. I've never traded one. Whenever shares became available, I picked them up. So it's really a question of liquidity. And so long as there is no liquidity, we all look to the long term rather than short term gains. Next questions, please, Abby.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next question comes from Mr. Berthold Gadabui, a shareholder. He asks, will the bank increase dividend payment for next year? Mr. Chairman, the second question comes from Mr. Samalata, a shareholder. He says, Mr. Chairman, the proposed dividend is too low comparing Ecobank's earning per share. This is affecting the share price of Ecobank. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Samalata's question is basically the same as Mr. Peter Jassa's question. So I've already answered that. It's really a question of liquidity and not reflective of any weak fundamentals in Ecobank at all. Now, with regards to Berthold, I hope I've got the name correct. The dividend for next year, I am very confident indeed that the dividend next year will be much better. I look forward to it because I'll be retired and therefore I want more money. Abby, can we have the last two questions, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, actually one, because the other is a repetition. So, Mr. Godfred Amwa,
Okay.
Mr. Godfred Amwa, a shareholder, asks, please, can dividend per share be increased considering the economic environment and the fact that the bank is currently well capitalized? I am proposing 7 pesos per share. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Gottfried. The managing director has given a very detailed explanation as to why our dividend this year is 62 pesos per share. The reality is that the bank has to look at any risk environment, and these are really external risk environments that we look at, and to make sure that therefore the bank has got adequate capital to move forward in any situation. So the 62 pesos is what is seen as being reasonable, and it is also protecting the future of the bank. And by protecting that future, then we are able to pay higher dividends going forward. So we have to actually be a little bit cautious and look at all angles. Thank you very much, everybody, for their questions. Thank you. I would now like to invite a shareholder to move the motion.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Abeka Baini, a shareholder, so moves the motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Baini. And I call upon a shareholder to second the motion.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Akwete Akira, a shareholder, seconds the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akira. May I now call upon you all to proceed to cast your vote electronically. I declare the voting open. Thank you. Thank you. I declare the voting closed. Madam Secretary, can we have the results, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, 70 votes were cast. There are 70 votes in favor of the motion, 0 votes against the motion, and 0 abstentions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I now declare the resolution carried. We now move to item 3 on the agenda. Item 3 on the agenda. Mr. Samuel Ashite Ajay was appointed as a director in the course of the year for a 3-year term. Can we please have his image? We are waiting to see the image of Mr.
Mr. Chairman,
Samuel Ashite Ajay.
okay, the image has been projected, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. I can't see it. Thank you very much. Mr. Ajay is an accomplished banker with more than 29 years of banking experience, 25 years of which was in executive positions spanning various areas of banking within the Ecobank Group in Africa. A proven track record of accomplishments in strategically growing bank assets, revenues, and profitability. Experience in bank acquisition and integration and stock exchange listing. A highly effective executive with great team building and people skills, strong leadership, problem solving, decision making, and execution abilities, and an eye for the bottom line, delivering multi-million-dollar profits. In accordance with the constitution of the company, shareholders are to ratify the appointment. May I have a shareholder to move the motion?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Joseph Ai, a shareholder, so moves the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Ai. And may I have a shareholder to second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Charles Boating, a shareholder, seconds the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boateng. May I call upon you now to proceed to cast your vote electronically. I declare the voting open. Thank you. I now declare the vote closed. Madam Secretary, could we have the results, please?
Mrs. Chairman, pictures up there. No, how many votes were cast? I don't see the number of votes cast. Mr. Chairman, 69 votes were cast. There are 68 votes in favor of the motion, and there's 1 vote against the motion, and there's 0 abstentions. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. I now declare the resolution carried. Item 4 on the agenda, Mrs. Patience Enyonam Achanu, whose mandate as director has ended, has offered herself for re-election. In accordance with the constitution of the company, We now request the shareholders to re-elect her as director for another 3-year term. May I have a shareholder to move the motion?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Aaron Cote, a shareholder, so moves the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cote. May I have a shareholder to second the motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. William Danso Abiam, a shareholder, seconds the motion. Thank you.
I didn't quite get the second name, so I've just got Mr. William Danso
Abiam.
Abiem. Thank you, Mr. Abiem. May I now call upon you to proceed to cast your vote electronically? I declare the voting open. Thank you. I declare the voting closed. Madam Secretary, may we have the results, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, 69 votes were cast. There are 68 votes in favor of the motion and 1 vote against the motion. There are 0 abstentions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I now declare the resolution carried. We now move to the last item on the agenda, item number 5. Your directors request your authorization to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Are there any questions on this, please?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, there is a Mr. Kingsley Frimpong who says his question has not been answered, but we would kindly ask him to resend the question. And for any others whose questions have not been answered. Mr. Kingsley Frimpong.
Frimpong?
Yes, please, Chairman.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, we'd kindly ask him to resend the question and we will reach out to him after the meeting in order that things can proceed, please. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That'll be fine. So, Mr. Frimpong, direct a question, please, to us later. Okay, if there are no other questions, may I have a shareholder to move the motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Anthony Ofori, a shareholder, so moves the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Ofori. And may I have a member to second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, Nanaya Japong, a shareholder, seconds the motion. But
Sorry?
there is Nanaya Japong, a shareholder, seconds the motion. But there is a question as to how many more years the auditors are to serve at Ecobank. Who asked the question? Who asked the question?
I believe that it is a 3-year cycle. I believe it's a 3-year cycle. I stand to be corrected. So, Dan, do you have, obviously you would know off the top of your head, how many years have they done and how many years more must they do?
Thank you very much, Chairman. It's a 6-year period. They've done 4 years.
Oh, 6-year cycle.
They have 2 more years to go.
Thank you, Mr. MD. So the motion has been seconded by Nanai Hong. Thank you very much. And I therefore will ask you to proceed to cast your vote electronically. I declare the voting open. Thank you. I declare the voting closed. Madam Secretary, please let us have the results.
Mr. Chairman, 73 votes were cast. 71 votes were cast in favor of the motion, 1 vote against the motion, and 1 abstention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I now declare the resolution carried. And finally, on behalf of the board, I would like to thank you all for joining us this year at this AGM. and we look forward to seeing you again next year. We do hope that it'll be a far more environmentally healthy, and the COVID would have receded even further, and that we will be paying a high dividend. So thank you very much. I now declare the meeting closed, and I will invite Reverend Albert Bartlett Mingle to say the closing prayer.
Shall we please bow our head for a word of prayer? Most High God, we are thankful unto you. We began with you. You have led us and brought us to a successful end. We thank you for your bank. We thank you for the sterling performance. We thank you for the shareholders. We thank you for staff. We thank you for management. We thank you for the board. We thank you, Father, for the customers that you've given unto us. We pray and we ask that, Most High God, even as you bring us together again for another annual general meeting, may the story be greater, better, to your praise and to your glory. We thank you in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, fellow shareholders. Thank you, management, and thank you, fellow board members. The meeting is now closed, and I look forward to seeing all of you in my retirement. You are all welcome. Thank you very much.